So people ask this question as if it cannot be answered. What is the meaning of life, right? So if you're asking this question subjectively, you're never going to answer it. Who am I? Where do I go? What do I do? What is my meaning? And then as soon as you find some meaning, then when things get bad, oh, that must not have been my meaning. I'll just wander off and look for something else, right? And this is what most people are doing. This is basically the default setting we all come with. Why? Because we're looking for this super duper magical fake land that doesn't exist. And what seems to be going on is our stock setting as animals are stuck on pain and pleasure. Therefore, what we're kind of unconsciously defining as meaningful is something that's very pleasurable. And if it's painful, then it's not meaningful. When you ask a simpler question like, what has produced meaning for those that have already found meaning, meaning if you were to find 100 people that are like, oh, I found absolute meaning in my life, what would be the common trends? Would it be that they all went to college? Would it be that they all did what their mommy said? Would it be that they all got more followers than the other guy on Instagram? Would it be that they were more liked by everybody? Would it be because they did more of what everyone else was doing around them? People that have found meaning, what is the common thread in their lives? So this requires you to do homework. You can't just think that idea up. You can't just go for a walk and feel about it. You can't go back into your toxic head and randomly pick out the answer that feels good to you. You got to actually do your research. You got to go find people that are highly successful and highly happy and highly meaningful in an objective way. What does that mean? According to the tribe. That the majority of people look at this person and go, yep, that is a very meaningful life. People look at Oprah Winfrey, Tony Robbins, and go, yep, they have a pretty meaningful life. And the common threads that you'll see, if you're just looking at those two, for example, is that they both have a lifestyle since they were little kids of focusing on growing themselves. They keep a diary. They keep positive people around them. They're constantly pushing themselves. They're constantly trying new things. They're constantly growing. And then from there, they're able to give. They're constantly giving more and more to people. And not just in their public areas, but a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you and I don't see, these people are still giving. How? They're giving from a state of abundance. They've grown so much as humans and they're so fulfilled as people that they can't help but give. And guess how that makes you feel? When you have grown to where you are so full and so happy in and of yourself, what is the next thing to do? Is to now give that abundantly to others. And do you know how that makes you feel? It's really weird. Your body has a chemical response. Your body feels really, really, really good. It's very addictive. Think about where you've helped a friend or a poor person or somebody on the street or your family or somebody really in need, where you had an area of abundance where you're like, hey, I could help them out with some money. I could help them out with some comfort, help them out with some advice. And you took from your abundance and you gave to your friend, you gave to your family member. How'd that make you feel? Imagine that scaled of that being your life all the time. So that's what we'd all want to do, right? We'd all love to be giving and helping others and having a meaningful life and changing the world, right? But first, you got to grow. You have to grow. Now, growing is not going to college, getting more money, being better than all your friends, having more likes on Instagram. That's not growing. That's just comparing yourself to others and trying to beat everybody at the stupid rat race. That's what everyone's doing. That's the unconscious default setting. It's breaking that and going, how can I make me, myself, a more powerful, stronger character person? And that only happens by putting yourself through the fire, by doing stuff that's hard, doing stuff that's new, setting yourself out on a journey, and doing shit you fucking hate. Pushing yourself to do stuff you don't like, to conquer it. And you can do it right now. And you got to break this down into smaller, simpler steps. That's why Jordan Peterson is talking about silly stuff like clean your room. Yes, that's literally where I started. Clean my room, clean my house, clean my yard, clean my attic, cleaned under the house, got everything cleaned. And then how am I going to keep my personal life clean if I can't keep my house clean? You start with the most ridiculous, smallest, silliest goal first. Don't be thinking about what are you going to do when you're older? What are you going to do when you're rich and famous? What are you going to do 50 years from now? Stop thinking about that. You're just going to keep depressing yourself. Start thinking about in 3-month goals. And they're small, they're silly, they're simple, they're stupid, because it's not about the tasks. It's not about the little goals. It's about what these little goals, these little tasks, and these little challenges do to you and your character. Like, for example, I'm not so proud that I figured out how to mow my lawn and that look at me and look at my lawn is so great. I'm so proud of the growth that I had to go through on that process of learning how to mow the lawn. Fuck the lawn. It's the life lessons that I took forever, because that then applied to other areas. I could level that up. Look in your own life where you've gone through something really hard. School, relationships, moving, getting a job, getting fired, all these bad things that have happened to you. Where has all the growth happened in your life? from these bad things. That's where you have grown in character. Now, you may get skills, you may not get skills. Nobody cares about your damn skills. People care about you, your character. Are you growing as a person? And so the point is here, you can get control of this process. You can put yourself in the fire in these small scale things of, I'm going to clean my room, I'm going to clean up my computer, I'm going to organize this, I'm going to learn to sell stuff on eBay, I'm going to help an old lady down the street, I'm going to work at a soup kitchen, I'm going to work at church. Little small tasks that are hard, they're uncomfortable, they should not be what you like, they should be completely meaningless in and of themselves, but you keep doing these every couple months and you're zigzagging your way through life, growing in character because they're hard, they're forcing you to grow. Then over time, what happens? What does Tony Robbins say? What's Oprah say? What's everyone else say? Over time, you start to grow as a person. You start to get better at things. You start to get a little bit of extra. You start to give abundance. Now, you're 6 months in. You see some other kid who's starting off, and you got a little bit more than him. And you can help that person. And that now starts to create the giving from an abundance. Your body is flooded with positivity because you're growing, you're seeing yourself grow, and now you're giving, you're helping the next person. And then it's just leveling that up over time. That's it. Don't let happen to you what's happening to everyone else, where they're getting trapped in their heads, trying to jump out of the fire, trying to make it end, getting so overwhelmed and not looking at how this game is already being played.